Oh boy, we are not in Higglytown or Umi City anymore. This is uncharted territory, and probably for good reason.
You're videotaping the show. I am.
Butt lovers, welcome back to Camp or Cringe, Lore's edgier cousin. In the Lore series, we explore kid shows and look way too deep into them for a goof, maybe even a laugh. But on Camp or Cringe, we look at dramedies such as Faking It and Awkward as a retrospective to decide whether it's camp or cringe or both or neither. Today we're looking at another MTV show, Finding Carter. Finding Carter aired new episodes from 2014 to 2015. In this short runtime, they had 2 seasons and 36 episodes overall. I would also like to use this time to issue a content warning, because this show addresses some very traumatic experiences in probably the worst way imaginable. But I figured, what's more Halloweeny than that? Woo! MTV being insensitive, woo! Not so fun fact, when I decided to cover this show, I thought I'd never seen it before. But I slowly remembered, oh yeah, I watched most of this. I gave up halfway through season 2 back in 2015. The fact that I didn't remember is a huge red flag I just tore right past. Since every episode is almost 42 minutes long, almost every single one has some big plot stuff going on. Very little filler in this show. So let's break this down episode by episode. The opening shot of the very first episode leads us to believe that the titular bitchular Carter has the coolest mom ever. Froyo for dinner, talking about rom-coms. What other mom would literally say, forget about me, go hang out with your friends? Speaking of the friends Carter does end up going out with, they are so freaking cool, it's actually pissing me off. They broke into an amusement park and are just smoking on a carousel. Her friend with benefits, Max, gives me Heath Ledger's 7 Things I Hate About You vibes. Yeah, this whole friend group would bully me, and I couldn't even be mad about it. Carter and the friends get arrested, but Carter is so unbothered. She does have a cool mom, after all. If a teen is comfortable enough talking about her friend with benefits with a parent, you know there's trust there. It would be a shame to have that trust broken in the worst way possible. This is an MTV show, so you might be thinking it's gonna get gross in terms of, oh, the mom steals her boyfriend away. You're half right, the mom did steal something. Carter.
What?
She stole Carter.
You were abducted. The woman you think is your mother is your kidnapper.
After that truth bomb is dropped on her, we have the opening title sequence and the theme song, which always makes me so emo, like it still makes me emo. The photos changing and breaking as her world is turned upside down. As the song goes, pretending to not feel alone. Poor kid. So her real parents are Elizabeth and David. The woman who kidnapped her, Lori, was like an acquaintance to them somehow. We'll learn more about it later. But they didn't know who kidnapped their daughter. They had no idea where she was. So they're just happy she's alive. Carter learns a lot about her new family. She has a twin sister, Taylor, a little brother, Grant, and her 2 grandparents. Carter's twin sister, Taylor, is a goody-goody because she's lived her whole life in fear of having what happened to her sister happen to her. But when she met Carter and saw her party, Taylor essentially went, wow, she had a better life than me. She's so cool and carefree and my crush Gabe already likes her more than me. Fuck this, I'm getting trashed. Absolutely wasted for the first time in my life. A wild conclusion to come to. Carter was kidnapped, dude. She was still kidnapped. No amount of cool parenting makes up for kidnapping. I'm gonna be saying this a lot. But you know, they're teens, so the logic checks out. Also, every MTV party scene is just a bunch of people posing like this. So what we wanna party, let's just party when we party. As the lights like flicker. I've never seen an MTV party scene that actually makes the party look fun. Oh my god, I forgot the mom was cheating on the dad with Gabe's dad. Her partner in crime, cause they're both cops. I'm sorry I had to break the news to you like this, but luckily she decided to call off the affair. My daughter's home now. I don't have time for sucking and fucking. Okay, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't say that. Most of this episode is dedicated to Carter really butting heads with her mom for being so strict and cold. I genuinely felt bad for the mom, even though Carter kinda had a point.
My mom used to tell me every day that she loved me, and I haven't heard you say it once. Not to any member of your family.
Also, side note, the name Carter was given to her by the cool fake mom. The name she was supposed to have was Lyndon. So she decides to stick with Carter. Also, the interaction she had with cool fake Carter napper in the beginning are really weird in hindsight.
Can't believe I'm begging my child to eat crushed Oreos for dinner. I'm the worst mother.
It just reeks of a guilty conscience. Ugh, I'm such a bad mom. Right? Right? Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. And the episode ends with, uh-oh, kidnapper in disguise. Carter helps her escape and drops this cold line.
She's my mother, and you've taken me away from her. You want to find my abductor? It's you.
Yikes, what a first episode. That was all the first episode? How am I gonna keep track of this shit? The entire first episode, Taylor's friend and secret crush Gabe is trying to get with Carter, which, you know, she's still adjusting to the whole her life being a lie thing. And he's like, when can I take you on a date? So I'm just gonna say it, I don't like this guy. Carter, however, was kind of feeling him, but out of respect for Taylor, backed off because she knew she liked him first.
I can't do that to Taylor. Taylor likes you.
Pretty cool. Too bad episode 2 immediately throws all that shit out the window. Carter immediately starts kissing Gabe in front of her ex-situationship Max and Taylor. Taylor told her off.
I liked you better when I thought you were dead.
Then Carter passes out and Taylor says, I didn't mean it! Which, I'm sorry, why is her saying that so funny to me? I didn't mean it! Oh! Well, in that case... Then classic time rewind to 4 days earlier, since we were kind of plopped in the middle of all that shit. We meet Ophi and Bird. Bird is a cool artsy type, has her own studio, and Ophi runs student gambling, where people are now taking bets on when Lori the kidnapper will be arrested. Jesus Christ, wow. Didn't think it could get worse than the true crime makeup genre, but here we are. So yeah, it was really tragic. This 15-year-old was kidnapped, or I guess we should say teen-napped. No, this is serious. Her new friends immediately become ride or dies, trying to help her mess with the police investigation, since Carter still loves fake kidnapper mom. But I don't know, this feels weird even for teens. Lori may be cool and quirky and not like other moms, but she's not like other moms because she's not a mom, she's a kidnapper. I understand Carter's feelings being conflicted because she's lived with her and loved her for so many years. But you guys are strangers. Why are you helping a criminal?
To the mall. To the mall.
That exchange seemed innocent, but what they're really saying is tormenting a mom with PTSD about her daughter being kidnapped, tormenting a mom with PTSD about her daughter being kidnapped. Also, don't think I didn't notice that those two actors totally flubbed that line and then looked at each other and laughed about it. Context for this scene, all of these mall patrons knowingly signed up for the let's make this woman think her daughter's kidnapper is here only to flip her off party. I don't know why they do this. I don't know, they're all assholes. The only one who's based is Max. He sees how cruel this is.
She looks so sad.
Oh my god, Max, don't tell me you feel sorry for her.
A little, look at her.
Carter took Molly and now we're back to the start of the party. Kissing, mad sister, passing out. Hospital. Episode 2 ends with the reveal that the dad is writing a book called Finding Carter. Oh my god, like the name of the show. Even though Carter told him explicitly not to, and even worse than that, he recorded their family therapy sessions, presenting his daughter telling off his wife as juicy gossip. You know, I don't usually try and empathize with cheaters, but I'm starting to see why she found comfort elsewhere.
I am very uncomfortable with the energy that we've created in the studio today.
Carter is so used to having a parent with no rules that she's like,
"What are you, some kind of dictator?"
about normal parent shit like not partying after 10 on a school night. Carter meets Crash, who was at the precinct when she was going to visit her mom. He's a bad boy, but that's Carter's type. They were also implying that he was the drug dealer responsible for the Molly that put Carter in the hospital, but Carter's like, who cares? He's cute. The next sequence of events is so awkward, I cringed so hard. So because of her curfew, Carter got home before 10, but she brought all her asshole friends with her. A classic Carter loophole. My parents would have killed me. Crash the bad boy was caught trying to teach her 12-year-old brother how to roll a joint. And even Carter was like, dude, what the fuck? And agreed with her dad kicking him out. But when her mom reprimanded her saying, you can't have anything to do with him, oh boy did the teenage rebellion course through her veins. Because even though she was not feeling him just a second ago, she doesn't like being told what to do more. So she makes out with Crash right in front of her friends and family. Very weird. Is that not something we're supposed to do in front of the family? Lori would always watch as I made out with... Oh, we don't need to know. We don't. In the episodes prior to this, I used to think Carter bonding with her dad was very cute, but now these scenes are rubbing me the wrong way. Because it only seems like like he gets along with her because he's a massive pushover. It's clear he really wants to write himself as the good guy, while his wife is so desperately trying to put her foot down to keep Carter out of trouble, even though it makes Carter hate her. And instead of supporting his wife, he's actively making the wedge between her and Carter way worse. This show is really good at making me empathize with the character and then having them act like an absolute fool immediately after. So the mom really likes Carter's ex-situationship, Max. And so does the sister, and so does everyone. I love Max. But because the mom knows Carter won't listen to her, she tries reverse psychology, trying to get the two of them back together. The first thing she did was kick Max out of the family dinner, even though he's staying there for a few days and helped prepare it, and she's really leaning into this bad guy act. This wedge between you two will get worse. Why are you doing this? I wrote this down right after episode 3 was over. I think they are giving us hints that the dad and kidnapper used to have something between them, in the way he responds to Carter's weird proposal.
You know, it's too bad you didn't get to meet my mom. I really think you two would have hit it off.
Well, maybe in a parallel universe.
And the way she stares at him from a distance. And can I just say, I hope I'm wrong. Dear God, what the fuck? There's too much going on. Keep that in your back pocket, unfortunately. Max and Taylor are bonding, and they're so cute, and even though they look more like siblings than her and Carter, I'm rooting for them. I love their chemistry, and as of right now, they are the most normal people on this show. I hope these two lovebirds can make it work. Bird made art of Carter talking about how much she's an inspiration to them all and blah 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 blah. What I would have said is this: you can't spell Carter without art. Alright, shut up. Anyway, I made art of you without asking. Ta-da! What do you think? Carter hates it. And to be fair, even though the art is cool as fuck, it was a ballsy move to not ask her or tell her that you were doing this, and then wait to show her until there was a crowd of people there all ready for the reveal. And also, I can't help but not give a shit. Do you hear what the rest of the show is about? Why are they dedicating time to this? Breaking news, the mom is starting up her affair again. That took no time at all. Lori, aka the kidnapper, is still looking for a way to kidnap Carter again. And when Max asked Carter what she'd do if she saw Lori again, Carter's split-second response was, "Who? Let's fucking go!" But then unfortunately, when Carter realized what she said and realized how comfortable she got with her new family, she felt really guilty and heartbroken. It feels like she betrayed Lori. And then, get this, she cried and hugged a picture of her. What? Why? I guess it wasn't easy for her to erase what seemed like loving memories for years and years during her most formative time in her life. Can't she just try harder? I mean, look at this bitch. There's something sinister behind her eyes. That plus the kidnapping, and I don't know, I just can't trust her. I don't know, maybe I sound like a judgmental asshole. First time Carter bonds with her actual mom, and it's over shooting and cop shit. I've been waiting for these two to bond for so long, and this is how it's executed. It's all downhill from here. Also, tiny little plot twist, the dad is fully aware that his wife has been cheating on him both times. This has been going on for years, by the way. And he hasn't said anything because he's pettily hoping his book does so well that he gives her the divorce papers while he's making money so she doesn't get any of it. There's a lot of hatred between these two. If we want to talk about cute, though, Max scooping up Taylor while she's studying to get her away for a bit. Oh my god! Gabe? Who? Taylor plays 7 minutes in heaven before it finally gets to the best ship, her and Max. The bottle lands on her and Ophi first, and then, her and Gabe. And she really just wants the experience so she can be a better kisser for Max, so she jumps on it. Literally.
Oh my god.
And guess what? Gabe is so stupid and weak that after that happens, he's now like, Taylor, we should hang out more. Wild, because before Carter got there, Taylor and Gabe were supposedly friends, and we haven't seen them hang out again until this very moment. The most satisfying part, though, is while he's trying to flirt with Taylor, she's just like, okay. As she's leaving with Max. Carter still has a crush on Crash. Despite a few episodes ago, the fact that she was in a stolen car with him, which he didn't tell her until the police were chasing after them, and the whole little brother rolling a joint thing, and the fact that her best friend literally had sex with him right in front of her. Despite all that, he's still the love interest. God, even Gabe would have been a better choice than this guy. Speaking of which, Gabe and Taylor are going on a date for some reason. I don't know how he convinced her after all the fun she's been having with Max, but he did, and I'm pissed. Of course, this show makes me feel bad for Crash. They present us with his tragic backstory. But it's kind of a downer, dude. I'm just trying to focus on Carter's storyline and, like, her family. All these other characters, everyone has trauma in this show. You're not special, Crash. Gabe and Taylor's date ended with them just realizing they're better off as more of a sibling dynamic. This plot was useless and only made Max feel bad about himself, and they backpedaled it in season 2. This episode ends with Lori the kidnapper meeting up with Carter and both of them having an escape plan together. Episode 7, it's Taylor and Carter's birthday. Carter didn't even realize that that day was her birthday, and throughout the episode she realized, oh my gosh, I was actually celebrating the day I was kidnapped as my birthday all of these years. For 13 years. Taylor finds Carter's getaway bag and rightfully gets very mad at her, asking important questions like, you would willingly put us through that again? And do you really hate us that much? But you also sympathize with Carter because it's clear she loves her family and the life she used to have. Both things can be true. The only thing is, Lori was the cause of so much trauma that those 13 years of good times don't undo that. In a whirlwind of events that all started with Grant throwing himself a pity party in the closet and then Gabe joining him, which sounds bad, but it was very brotherly and cute, honestly. Until Gabe's dad and Grant's mom start talking about their affair within earshot of their kids without even knowing it. On the bright side, if Carter runs away, that truth bomb won't hurt as much. Oh wait, no, that doesn't make anything better. Well, luckily she decided not to go, giving her dad the information on where Lori is and the number she gave her. The dad called Lori, and Lori said, "Don't underestimate me, David. You did one time before." I'm not liking how that's sounding, and for good reason. Episode 8 confirms that Max is the best character. Look at his reaction when he hears about the parents' affair.
Mom's having an affair.
Whoa.
I love Max so much. Carter and Taylor confronted their mom about cheating.
I'm incredibly embarrassed.
Yeah, you should be. Crash is all of a sudden this really caring guy, by the way. He really loves Carter, and I wish they built this up more. It seems like the only connection we've witnessed between these two is trauma bonding, which isn't a particularly solid foundation, but hey, maybe that's the point. I think I'm giving this show a little bit too much credit. You'll see where all this snark is coming from. Season 1 was actually good, but okay, I'm getting ahead of myself.
Can you please stop banging your extremely handsome partner? Did I have to tell you that?
Extremely handsome.
Throuble. 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 Could you imagine? Carter's mind would be blown. I thought I only had one mom, but now I have one mom and two dads? I will never be alone. Taylor gets high, and I hate to say it, she is in the nightmare rotation.
Shall I recite a poem? Pussycat, pussycat, where have you been?
Oh dear God. This is why Lori didn't choose you. Okay, too dark, too dark. Why did she pick one kid instead of the other? I don't know, maybe Carter was just like an easier toddler. Like she didn't cry as much or something. We should stop trying to apply logic to kidnappers. We're so bad. We're so silly and goofy. The dad said he was going to get a divorce, and then Carter gave him an ultimatum. If you try and work things out with mom, I'll let you write Finding Carter. This alleviates all his guilt because he was writing the book anyway, so he says yes. What a great lesson about love for this 17-year-old. This is so fucked up, and honestly, Carter is taking it like a champ. I thought she'd be like, everything was so much easier before, I'm running away for realsies. But she really stuck it out and helped everyone in her family.
Like the name of the show.
Next episode, so the mom is looking through the dad's stuff, and she's like, huh, that's funny. A completed book. Didn't you agree that you were gonna start writing the book yesterday? You write pretty quick, huh? I understand that every emotional betrayal has layers, much like an onion. But at this point, I feel like they're just trying to build up enough of a shit show from every angle to justify Carter questioning her decision to stay, and it's painful to watch. Meanwhile, the very appropriate B-plot of Taylor and Max having sex for the first time is playing out. So as much as I love this ship, the whiplash is hurting me. How am I supposed to care? They found a way for me to care because Max is so darn charming. Can I talk about Max for a second? Taylor went to turn on a lamp, and when his lamp didn't work, he went out to buy a lamp. Because he's like, this is your first time, it has to be perfect. You want a lamp? I'm gonna get you a lamp. I don't know how else to say it. He's a cutie patootie. And if anything happens to him, I'll rage quit. So the mom kind of forced the dad to come clean to Carter about the fact that he was already writing the book before he got her permission, because their fresh start includes no secrets. But unpopular opinion, you guys are already on thin ice. I think doing this is even worse for Carter because she keeps finally getting to a good place, And then bam, another disappointing thing. Oh, by the way, Bird gave Carter a friendship bracelet a couple of episodes ago, which I thought was a cute gesture, but then when Bird's mom starts looking for her bracelet, yep, the bracelet was her mom's. Bird accused Carter of stealing it, and now Carter's in jail. What the fuck? Episode 10, Crash bailed out Carter, which you can't do, he's a minor, so somebody really messed up at the precinct, and now they're planning on running away together. And with the Amber Alert Carter's mom sent out, Crash is now once again on the run. So now they have to run away even faster. The whole episode is Crash and Carter doing cute fugitive shit, like visiting Carter's childhood home where she lived with Lori. And guess what? Lori left a message for her there. Then listen to this turn of events. Carter knows Lori might come back for her, so Carter leaves a message with Max. But Crash gets antsy and he doesn't like Max. So he has the brilliant idea to stage an armed robbery by holding a real gun to Max's face. Please don't hurt Max. Crash shoots Max. But in his defense, no, not in his defense, fuck Crash. He said he didn't mean to because he thought the safety was on, but then he ran away, leaving Carter covered in her friend's blood, holding him as she calls for an ambulance. Max survives, but he needs surgery. And after Taylor told off Carter for the whole your boyfriend shot my boyfriend thing, Carter had a main character moment and visited a chapel.
Wow.
When all else fails, perhaps religion? It's a dramatic trope. Nothing ever came out of it. She never visited that church again. Pretty cool.
Uh-oh.
The episode starts with the doctors essentially saying Max is non-responsive. Carter's like, let me see him, I'll make him respond, before whispering in the tiniest little voice, he can't hear you, dude. Why are you whispering? Speak up. Speak up. I can't even hear you. Crash got arrested. Carter called her mom. God, Max would have loved to see this. He does wake up for the sisters making up, though. That he had to see with his own two eyes. So he decided, alright, nap time's over. Season 1 finale. Lori weasels her way back into Carter's life by posing as a teen trauma therapist. So now she is in Carter's house alone with her. It's also interesting that she always goes for blonde wigs. It's like she's trying to be Elizabeth. Max breaks up with Taylor because while she's with him in the hospital, she's not going to school or being with her family, and he says he can't replace those things, and he doesn't want her worrying about him. At the time, I was screaming, crying, throwing up, but I didn't realize how much the show made people break up, get back together, break up, get back together. This was the first and last time a breakup on the show had any sort of emotional impact on me. Oh, and by the way, this season ended with Lori drugging and kidnapping Carter again. How was this on MTV? Music television? More like messy trauma? Very. Season 2 starts, and Grant is now taller than Taylor, and his voice sounds completely different. Oh, tween actors. The plot calls for these series of events to be immediate, but they waited too long to film, and now it just looks silly. Max and Taylor get back together, so what was the point of them breaking up? Now Lori wants to get Taylor, too. And Carter's like, oh, you're crazy, and tries to run away. Before Lori tackles her to the ground very aggressively. You know, cool mom stuff. We then get to the moral gray area. I need you to hear these air quotes. I'm being so dripping with sarcasm. The moral gray area is that Lori was their egg donor. Was that supposed to be a twist? Was that supposed to be a reveal? Was that supposed to make me empathize with her? I don't fucking care. Typically when you donate something to somebody that needs it, you don't come back 3 years later changing your mind. This makes her worse in my mind. And now she's threatening them with a gun. You know, cool mom stuff. And the dad caught her, even though she ran really fast. Lori got arrested finally. Also, if Taylor got half of Lori's genetics, how the fuck is Taylor blonde? Recessive genes or something? I don't know, that shouldn't be important to me. The preview for the rest of the season that played at the end made me very unexcited. I completely understand why I stopped watching the first time. It seems like more of the same, and I have no idea how they're gonna top Lori being caught.
Is this allowed?
Here we are. We made it to season 2, episode 2, and I'm so sorry to inform you that remember that prediction I made, season 1, episode 3? It happened. I'm mad! The dad confessed to Carter that when she and Taylor were both babies, he and their mom went through a rough patch, and he had a one-night stand with Lori. These kids know way too much about their parents' sex lives. These guys cheated on each other entirely too much. And not only that, this is significantly worse than Elizabeth cheating on him, because even though he had no way of knowing that that lady was going to become their kid's kidnapper, it happened. You have to live with the fact that you slept with your kid's kidnapper. No amount of showers can wash off that shame, David. Speaking of shame, Crash keeps showing up to try and apologize to Max for the whole shooting him thing. And eventually Max caves in and talks to him because he's way too nice. And Taylor is mad at Max for talking to the guy that almost killed him. Taylor and Max broke up again because, conflict is very engaging content. Elizabeth heard during Laurie's interrogation that her plan was always to get David to leave and take the girls with him. So David, Carter, Taylor, and Laurie could all be a happy family. The episode ends with David going to the precinct to finally come clean to Elizabeth, but they end up just having a stare down because, well, she knows. Okay, blah, 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 they're arguing about lies and betrayal and whatever, but I need to show you what MTV put on the screen. So as Elizabeth announces to their kids that they're separating, look at this corner, hashtag WilsonFamilyMeeting. It just doesn't feel right. Let's check out the hashtag though. The official Finding Carter Twitter page simply said, yikes. Awkward. It's so unfair. The mom cheated, but when the dad does it, it's different? Yeah. It's with the kidnapper. The dreaded hashtag WilsonFamilyMeeting? Oh, why? Hashtag Finding Carter, we all know Elizabeth is gonna run to Kyle and screw him again now. A lot of, weird Elizabeth hatred. I mean, I understand being frustrated with her, but everyone else is just as fucked up, if not more, so I don't know. All because they can't talk about their problems. They lie and have numerous affairs. This is like the 10th time they've separated since the show started, I swear. Elizabeth needs to stop. Why? I feel like she's kind of in the right for being upset. Didn't we do the same thing last season? Oh, this person does not know the half of it. And my favorite, wait, their last name is Wilson? Biggest plot twist. Laurie's ex from 7 years ago wants Carter to testify that Laurie is crazy. Huge overstep. Who the fuck is this guy? Hashtag ShouldCarterTestify. I'm gonna say hashtag no. Thankfully, everyone on Twitter agreed. And whoever ran the official Twitter page was just having too much fun. Do you know what your own show is about? I have to mention another hashtag. I'm so sorry. Hashtag Looney Laurie. It's in such weird taste. Ophi and Taylor are getting together, and I hate it. Crash and Carter are getting back together, and I don't hate it as much as I should. This show is turning my brain to mush. When Ophi said he grew up in a totally normal home with two dads that love each other, I was half expecting MTV to put in the corner, hashtag 2 dads. Carter is learning the importance of education, and she even came to the conclusion that Laurie's lack of interest in grades, and if she even went to school at all, wasn't her being cool, it was her being neglectful. I forgot how normal season 2 started off. It seems like she's moving past Laurie. Right? Season 2, episode 6, Carter and Crash hit another bump in the road. Max discovered a car full of coke that belonged to Crash's uncle, and Max was convinced they were both trying to pin it on him. Crash insisted he didn't know anything about this, but when Carter isn't immediately convinced, Crash storms off, exclaiming, if I can't even convince you, maybe I should stop trying to convince myself. First off, convince is a weird word to use. It makes you sound guilty as fuck. Secondly, don't let your redemption be determined by others' willingness to forgive you. That's such an unfair and selfish burden to put on them. Somebody could never forgive you, and you should still strive to be better. I do genuinely think Crash is trying to turn his life around, but even though a lawyer found the gun did have its safety on after all and the gun company was sued, I think Crash needed genuine rehabilitation. I don't know what facility could provide that, but whatever he's doing now is not working. Anyway, I'm really mad at myself for liking Crash as a character. He's done so many terrible things, but the more we see of his life, the easier it is to empathize with him. He's only 17, and he really didn't mean to hurt anyone. Little brother Grant asks Taylor if he should get on medication for his anxiety, and she says, I have a better idea, and hugs him. And now he's cured! MTV actually stands for medicine, does not work. Ophi breaks up with Taylor because as much as he likes her, he can't ignore that he's just a rebound any longer. And in the end, Crash is on the run again because his uncle is trying to kill him. Poor Crash! Every episode that revolves around him ends in the same way. He has to run away. Gabe, remember Gabe? He's hooking up with his guidance counselor. Because they had to do something with this character, and MTV's go-to is disgusting age gaps with underage teens. I want to fucking vomit! But for once, another character is pointing out how disgusting this is, which is an improvement. Birdie is like, if this was the other way around and this was a male teacher preying on me, would you be okay with that? Go Birdie, I've been waiting for you to be the badass voice of reason I knew you were always capable of being. And as Gabe and the guidance counselor are making out, the song in the background has the lyrics, 17 and on the scene. Taylor had a whole doing drugs and lashing out storyline. I completely skipped over it. Too much is happening. Also, Grant is now living with their grandparents because the idea of his parents separating and seeing new people absolutely repulses him. Can't believe that was his breaking point after everything. Let people break up if they need to break up. Also, the best news I've gotten in a while, the guidance counselor was arrested. He was just 17. You deserve life in prison. Carter's old friend from her old life, Maddison, swings by to visit. She's an asshole, didn't even talk to Carter after everything went down, and only came to visit her because she can get something out of it. And Lori sent her. Typical. Maddison also kissed Max right in front of Taylor, and then dropped some traumatic Max backstory lore that Taylor didn't know about to make her more insecure. Taylor confronts Max about why he didn't tell her about his childhood trauma, which is really rude and unnecessary. You guys aren't even together anymore. And at this point, I don't think you should be. This hurts. I was rooting for you. At the end of the episode, they're all joyous, eating cake and celebrating their mom's birthday. And Carter goes to check her voicemail messages. What could go wrong? It's about Lori. She tried to take a one-way ticket to Unalivesville. I hate this bitch! As dramatic music played in the background as Carter delivered this news, I half expected her mom to be like, well damn, my birthday wish came true. Madison's introduction to the series came just in time for her to guilt trip Carter into seeing Lori. Fuck Maddison. This episode was so fucked up in every way possible, if I wasn't making this video, I would have quit right here. Lori is truly manipulative and evil and revels in the fact that Carter still cares about her, even though she did absolutely nothing to deserve it. And, in a highly emotional state, Carter and Max made out and had sex. Which doesn't feel realistic to me! Like, sure, the two have history, but how do you go from bawling and gasping for air to gasping for air in other ways? But seriously, maybe it's a weird coping skill, maybe the wires crossed, but it just felt like such a leap. I just realized 4 episodes after Taylor and Ophi broke up that we have not seen Ophi since. He was completely written out of the show. In the friend group, he's nowhere to be seen, and this random guy took over his place. Max didn't tell Taylor about what happened between him and Carter, even though he wanted to. And MTV, with their on-the-nose music, played a song that went, I keep all my secrets. Episode 11, Mom and Dad are back together. No, not mine, thank God. Taylor found out about Max and Carter, and she's pissed. I understand her feelings, but also they weren't together. Also, I feel like in the grand scheme of their shit show, the fact that this took up over 2 episodes is very silly. And Crash is back too. Dude, if he hears what happens, he's gonna shoot Max again. Hide him! So yeah, Taylor told Crash, but he didn't have time to get his feelings hurt because his sketchy uncle kidnapped him. When Taylor heard about her parents working things out after everything they've been through, she decided to talk with Max and forgive Carter. Thank God that storyline is over. I'm so bored. Crash was saved, but Elizabeth's ex was killed. Let's see what the Finding Carter Twitter page has to say. Pass the tissues, please. Hashtag Kyle is dead. I'm just kidding. What they actually said was, so much changed last night. Some things for the better, others not so much. With David and Elizabeth looking really happy. Someone died, guys! On the bright side, Mom and Dad are back together. Bad news, Gabe's an orphan now. So yes, Gabe is in mourning, and Ophi, one of Gabe's best friends, isn't there for him. This isn't a simple, he's still getting over Taylor thing. He was written off the show, it's official. It's official. Also in this episode, Carter is summoned to court because Lori is fighting for custody of her. We're gonna touch on how weird that is, but I didn't realize the whole "you've been served" thing is an actual thing that happens in America.
You've been served.
When you serve legal documents to summon somebody to court, they actually say that, "you've been served." It's just so silly. What a silly fucking sentence to say something so serious. So you kidnap a baby you were the egg donor for, and build a loving relationship off of a lie and a crime that has scarred multiple people, and that's the whole argument that you have rights to custody? This is fucking bullshit. And because this is the mid-season finale, there has to be a twist. Lori has a son, and apparently the father is David. Meaning this isn't even a half-sibling to Carter and Taylor. This is a whole-ass brother. I think this plot twist is weak and cheap, but I will say 7 episodes ago when Carter went to a fair, she saw a fortune teller who said she has 2 brothers, and that foreshadowing is kind of fun.
My mom was the egg donor, but my dad had no idea that my brother was born because by that point he had broken up with my donor mom. He was with the mom who carried me, who I actually think of as my real mom, even though my original donor mom had me for 13 years before I found out that she actually kidnapped me. Oh, and my brother went into foster care, so I didn't really find out about it until recently.
We pick up with episode 13, and Lori is found not guilty of kidnapping.
What?
But she kidnapped, though. I hate this. If I wanted to be mad at the justice system, I would have just watched the news instead of watching some fictional bullshit written by dildo asshole bags. On the bright side, they wrote off Maddison. No, wait, the only gay couple, no. They also waited till this long to drop that Ophi is in rehab, which makes so much more sense than the whole getting over Taylor excuse they used 3 episodes ago. I'm glad they finally got there. Season 2, episode 14, Max says it's been 6 months since he and Taylor met. That means the main events of this show all took place within 6 months. And yet, I feel like I removed 6 years of my life watching this, so that's wild. Carter wants to drop out of school to pursue her dream of working at a slimy bar. For once, I'm not being snarky or casting judgment. That is legitimately a plot point. She felt very empowered telling off a disgusting misogynistic customer in a way that she never has at school. The bar is in hell. Both the bar of how she views herself and the literal bar she works at. Also, most importantly, she's underage. This is very illegal. Anyway, get this. She got Lori to sign a form giving her permission to drop out of school. Lori exclaims, 99% of parents wouldn't do this. Lucky for you, I'm the 1%. What do you mean by that? 1% of all parents are cool moms. And also kidnappers. That didn't matter much anyway because Carter tore up the form. She told her real parents it only mattered what they think. And if she can't do this without their blessing, she won't. She also exclaims that she wants to drop out of school more than anything else she's ever wanted in the whole wide world. Oh. Here's the thing though, we had no time to see her fall in love with this job. So this whole thing seems very rushed and immature, and I hope they frame it as such. Also, like I said before, it's illegal. This show is the law is just a construct. And for things like kidnapping and child labor, yeah, I think these laws are actually important.
I don't know. I guess I'm not woke.
Guys, the worst part is it works. They let her drop out of school because they are that afraid of losing her to Lori. They're like, okay, honey, we'll do whatever you say. Just please don't go back to your kidnapper. Also, Gabe is in love with Taylor again. And he's causing so much trouble for everybody. Here's the thing, though. He's in mourning. I can't trash the guy. He's going through it. Carter already got fired from her job, and they didn't even realize she's a high schooler yet. Crash has been here for 2 episodes now? Time to write him out. He's stationed in California, and because Carter can't go to California with him, they break up. Is this the 3rd or 4th time? She also got rehired at her job. Maybe they'll break up and get back together as much as her and Crash. This show is simply running out of ideas. Lori is begging Carter to help her find out what's going on with Ben, her son, and Carter's brother. This lady should not be allowed near these kids. She isn't a good parent, and she shouldn't be allowed to call herself that after everything she's put everyone through. I really thought she'd say something normal for once when she saw Carter throw out that bar's trash, and I'm worried for your safety, perhaps? But obviously she doesn't. She's the one who drugged her and threatened her entire family's life with a gun. This character getting more screen time and not being in jail makes me want to throw my computer into a river. I feel rage. Actual rage. It's just a show, dude. Calm down. I wish I could. Little brother Grant tells Carter he saw something he totally didn't want to see. What else is new, Grant? Sneaking up on people when they're doing shady shit is kind of your specialty. What did he see? He saw their new brother Ben stealing a watch from their dad. Ever since Ben's intro, he seemed like a rebel, like a Crash 2.0. But no chance of romance with him because they're related. MTV wouldn't do that to us, right? Also, he didn't actually steal the watch. Plot twist. Guys, look at this drama. This is my favorite scene from the entire show.
He took your watch with him.
You talking about this watch?
Hashtag David's watch. Hashtag watch reveal. Hashtag you mean this watch? Now I shall act out the closing scene between Carter and Lori. Oh, good evening. Hey, do you know where Ben is? When you told him I looked through his stuff, he got really mad and left. He left? Yeah, well, anyway, thanks for checking in. Okay, Ben the brother is missing. Perfect time for a new love interest. There's some tension between Carter and her boss, and I hate it. Firstly, it's best not to flirtily fraternize with an employee. And secondly, and most importantly, aren't IDs scannable? Shouldn't he check her age? Thirdly, Carter Wilson's kidnapping story is famous. How does he not recognize her? It escalated very quickly, as all things do in this show, and they kiss. And the hashtag Carter and Jared appeared in the corner, which is actually very helpful because I did not know his name. Let's look at some tweets. I still ship Car Crash more than them. That's Carter and Crash's ship name? Dear God. I don't know what to think. I just love them together. But Carter's lying to him. She's 17. Thank you, finally someone with sense. Who wrote this vile-ass storyline? Thank you. Carter mentioned promoting the bar on social media and mentioned Instagram, Snapchat, and Vine. That aged this show so much. Carter's talking about her experience hooking up with a fully grown man, and Birdie is supportive and even says she's jealous? Remember how she reacted to Gabe and the guidance counselor? This is the same thing. The inconsistency is killing me. Why did her opinion on sketchy age gaps change? Taylor even said, if he likes you, age shouldn't matter. You're telling me Taylor said that? The second half of the second season is a joke. Lori's desire to replace Elizabeth continues. She uses Ben, her shared son with David, as a weapon against him. And because Ben is under Lori's custody after years of foster care, and because David wants to be in Ben's life, she is able to manipulate David easily. None of that matters though, because the dad goes on a book tour. Clap if you care. When Carter is honest about her age to Jared, he looks horrified and disgusted, as he should. He better stand his ground on that. Please be normal. Please give me someone not acting like a fool for once. Ben, the brother, is stealing from the bar Carter works at and then threatens her when she finds out.
If I were you, I would think long and hard before I do anything stupid.
Are you seriously threatening me?
I'm saying don't mess with me.
Yikes. Okay, so even though the threat to Carter sounded violent, what he actually meant is, I'm gonna tell your mom on you. Carter could just as easily Uno reverse that and tell everyone about the illegal shit he was doing, but she chooses not to for some reason. So Elizabeth finds out Carter's working at a bar and she's pissed. But where did you think she was working? How long did this go on for? Also, Jared and Carter are back together. Disappointed but not surprised. MTV doing gross MTV shit. Next episode, Carter is still working at the bar, and her mom is too afraid of her own daughter to do anything about it. Jared, Carter's 25-year-old boyfriend and boss, is now blackmailing her brother Ben for stealing from him. We meet Ben's foster sister, Olivia. She almost dies, but Lori revives her. Carter, of course, witnesses Lori's heroism, and we, us the audience and Carter, are supposed to think, whoa, is this character morally gray? Is this the point of the series, that there's no good people or bad people, just people? Fuck off! Some things are unforgivable, and I'm not gonna let this show convince me that she's worthy of redemption. She stole a child. She stole a child for 13 years. I'm supposed to be impressed that she can do CPR? Also, Ben's foster sister, Olivia, was just introduced so we can empathize with Ben. That's it. This is the revolving door of characters that this show introduces us to. They stay for about 2 episodes, we don't get attached to them at all, but we just feel slightly worse. This is so enjoyable, I'm having such a great time. Lori and Carter are bonding like how they used to before Carter knew the truth, and I'm watching this all play out like a horror movie. They're playing sweet, sappy music in the back, so I can only assume we're supposed to find this heartwarming. But this is how I watch. So what are you up to? You know, just trying not to get in trouble with the family. You always were a troublemaking kid. That's her kidnapper. Yeah, I miss how you'd let me off the hook. What is happening? When Carter asks Lori what she should do about the whole 25-year-old boyfriend thing, Lori, of course, gives the advice of listen to your heart. Lori listened to her heart over the law to Carter, and you know what that led her to do? Kidnap a child. I wouldn't take advice from her. Elizabeth finds out through being a cop that Jared is married and has a kid. That's the breaking point for them. Not that she's underage or anything. Oh, that's not the breaking point either? They're still going out? Oh, okay. Also, Carter threw a party for Lori's birthday. Gross. This season is making me physically ill. My tummy hurts. Then Elizabeth apologizes to Carter for embarrassing her. This is killing me. Elizabeth has done nothing wrong. And everybody is telling her that she can't be angry about this ridiculous situation and that she just has to accept it. Every episode I watch vindicates younger me's decision to stop watching. Basically nothing happens in season 2 episode 20. Just a whole lot of conversations, just a whole lot of fucking nothing. Grant ending up being the voice of reason really amuses me.
She doesn't seem like the same crazy woman.
Same crazy woman that held you at gunpoint? Maybe you should go live with her too.
Grant!
I lost my appetite.
The only way he could see other people's perspective is when he accidentally gets high. I'm not even joking. Him getting high makes this whole situation make sense. Elizabeth also says how I feel.
It's really hard to watch.
Also, at this point, I'm starting to realize a lot of ongoing repeating bullshit. Carter keeps going like this. It's her signature face. She always goes like this. I'm also so tired of the characters having a tiny verbal fight. Someone wins the argument by rushing out of the room, and then the person left standing is left with their mouth open and maybe even a sigh, like a It happens all the time. It does nothing to further the plot. It only proves how stubborn they all are, which I already know. Stop dedicating time to it. Lori is struggling to find a job because no one wants to hire a kidnapper? Aww. Poor Lori. Jared's true colors are revealed. The creepy 25-year-old dating a 17-year-old isn't a good guy, and he just leaves someone to die? Who could have seen this coming? Me? Oh, that's not the breaking point either. They're still going out? What is the last straw? I feel like we ran out of straws months ago. Season 2, episode 22. This is the Lori and Elizabeth bonding episode. What are we doing anymore? What are we doing anymore? They even helped take down drug-dealing Jared together. Wow, that's really cool. Mom power, except one of them's a kidnapper. And if you can believe it, there is a scene where Carter looks between the two of them, exclaims, "This is so weird," and all three of them laugh and sink.
This is so weird.
Also, look at this real cut in the episode. Look at Elizabeth's face change from thin-lipped, pissed off, and weirded out to fully pouting, worry/sad. I have a theory. Let's look at this wide shot. Look at the actor's face. Tell me she's not holding in a laugh. She knows this shit is stupid. Penultimate episode of the series. Let's go. Dad's home. Wow, he missed a lot. Lucky him. Ben is in juvie for his forced involvement in Jared's drug dealing, and Lori also lost custody of him. Something she never should have had in the first place. This is a win for me. But everyone's treating it like a bad thing. I don't give a fuck. The final shot of the penultimate episode is Jared pushing Carter down and her being knocked out. Final episode time. Let's go. Let's see how this all gets tied up. Lori woke Carter up and Jared is dead. Lori turned herself in for killing Jared, but Max was actually the one who accidentally killed Jared when defending Carter. Even in the heat of the moment, Max tried to revive Jared. I don't know why. Are we supposed to act like this is a bad thing? I was half a second away from being like, wow, this is probably the coolest thing Lori's ever done, and she couldn't even do that. In the end, I think Ben was killed too. And the best character, Max, turned himself in. Lori is once again free, and this literal angel is behind bars.
This is the series finale. That is how it ends.
So I guess they thought they were getting a season 3. Let's get my brain working again for the final thoughts, alright? This show ended due to falling ratings, which makes sense. I was one of them. I was partially responsible, and honestly, I'm proud. I was searching all over for what season 3 was supposed to be about, but I found nothing. But here's something bananas I found out. In Germany, Disney Channel was broadcasting this show. How's it going? I'm Lori, the silly little kidnapper, and you're watching Disney Channel. I drugged my kid. I almost forgot the point of my own series. Is it camp or cringe? I'm gonna say it's neither. It's pure pain. Why explore such heavy subject matter if all you're gonna do is throw everything at the goddamn wall? I guess in that way it's a little camp. Perfect October camp or cringe, because this will haunt me for the rest of my life. I sure hope you enjoyed, butt lovers. Leave in a comment what you want to see me cover on camp or cringe next. Next week we're lightening up the mood with some yo gabba gabba lore, and I'll see you next time. Bye!